Hello YouTube, welcome to the Artisan of Glimmith. Now, full disclosure, I did play the demo of this, so it's not going to be completely blind for the first section, but I'm going to record some of it anyway. I don't know how far I'll record in this. Once the puzzles actually get difficult, I suspect I may spend too long staring at them to make anything even remotely interesting. But let's see how it goes. I'm just going to turn down the music volume a bit actually. I think it's possibly too loud. Right. Yeah, I think that's right for the settings. Okay. And I see it's remembered my progress from the demo. 52 solved. 52 solved, 1 solved. Let's go new. It's a while since I played the demo. I don't remember how to solve things. Okay, so click and drag to explore. This is the overworld. Scroll to zoom. Yep. Supported by windmills. Okay, first puzzle. Dearest esteemed artisan, thank you for accepting my invitation to restore the artworks of Glimmith. On that point, I have only one request. When shaping each piece of glass, you must follow the rules very closely. I care only about the shapes. Let your creativity run free with the colours. Yours truly, Elias Vidimus. Your progress is saved automatically and carried forward from playing the demo as well, apparently. Okay, all regions must be this shape. Right click and drag to erase. Shapes can be rotated. Trying to work out what it is that appears next to it when you hover over. Anyway, you can choose the colours freely even after completing the panel. Oh, I wasn't looking at the shape bank at all. Okay, let's actually pay attention to the puzzles even at the early stage. That's a secret one that's still locked. I can remember that. Mirror reflections of shapes can also be used. And I can change the colours at any time, right? So that's got a yellowish plume from it, as is that one that's now unlocked. This is a blue plume, so I think maybe the blue means mainstream. I'm not certain. Yep, you can draw the edges instead of filling in the squares. Journey start. restore your first window. So first window, restoration progress, mainstream 7 of 7, completionist 7 of 9. And I think this is: Dearest Artisan, I hope this letter finds you in the best of spirits and creative fervour. There is much work to be done. These window frames show your restoration progress. Each glasswork you restore contributes to a window. Complete windows to progress onwards. Yours truly, Elias Fidemus. So if I go back to here, difficulty 2. We have to go around there, but I don't know whether it extends that way or that way. If it extends that way, then that's kind of messed up, so it's not going to extend that way, it's going to come down. And that means I was wrong saying that this had to come around here. Let's have to do something like that, otherwise I'm going to cut off the corner in here. And there's another one out here. All regions must be that shape. Silver lining. Turn your first window silver. There's another hidden puzzle somewhere. Is this? No, that's not the hidden one. Yeah. Where's my mouse gone? There. That's probably the missing hidden one. Okay, yeah. Make that one a bit more contrasty. Solve a difficulty 3 or higher puzzle perfectly. Gold rush. Gold, your first window. Yippee. Right, that's that. First stage completed. Second window. Switch colours quickly with keys 1 to 9 or the scroll wheel. Let's see, I can do 3 and 2 and 2, yeah. I should try the number keys as well. So it's 9 for the auto select in the middle. Those have to form part of a 4-long bar, which means that has to go into the corner, and that has to go to there, and that has to go up to there, and then there's just the other two. You can complete the entire panel in border drawing mode if you prefer. Is that a hint? This one has to be a straight 3. This one has to be an S. That one has to be straight. That has to be S. Shift click or middle click to place metal borders around an entire shape. You can use this to mark regions that you are absolutely sure of. That's going to have to extend a fourth cell. That one doesn't necessarily have to extend, that has to be at least 3, because that can only be 3, that. And then we've got 3, 4, and placing the solid border on the last one, on the second last shape, fills in the last one, of course. The camera cannot be rotated. Means the puzzle down there has to be got through a hole in the floor. I remember that. Okay. That's 3 high. That's 3 high. So. You can see the finished pattern on the top of each panel. Can't really zoom in very far to see them. I wonder if that forms a meta puzzle later. Difficulty 4. 3, 4, or 5 straight. So we can fill in at least 3 from each of those. Walk in the road. Restore your second window. But there are 3 more in this area. There's one of them. The first step here is not obvious. Instead of guessing, try joining cells that you know are connected. Hold on a second. Just take my face off because that way the difficulty is a bit more obvious. That has to be something different than that. And that has to be different than both of these. That's going to have to come down, which means this one is going to have to come all the way around there. That has to come out, which means that one is that. This one can't be an L, block off those 2 shapes, so it has to be the S. This one has to be an S. That has to be an S. Eek. That has to be an L. That has to be an L. And that finishes it. No, I did that puzzle. Oh, I see. I completed the window before I'd actually done all of the main path ones because I went off on the side to do some of the distractions. That has to be like that. this one. Eight of 9. Where's number 9? Oh, there's 2 there. Ah, 8 of 9 to get silver, and then there'll be a 10th one for gold. Let's do a different colour for that because it's a bit light to actually see the difference between things. And that one has to be complete because I have to come around here for that one. And I've got this wrong, haven't I? So that can't be part of it because I need to do all straights. The elbow piece was simply a red herring. And this one I have to use elbow pieces because otherwise I get bits left isolated. Ten of 10. So I think the demo had there's 2 branches, there's left and right, and I think at least on the demo they ended up coming together in a bit in the middle that may or may not still be there. I'm not sure if they changed anything. Respected artisan. Oh, I've actually done things I'm now respected. The areas ahead contain a vast collection of glasswork designs, but fear not, you need only complete a fraction of them to restore the windows. If ambition beckons, complete more glassworks to metallicize the frames and reveal extra challenges. If you thoroughly master an area, its frame will become gilded. Yours truly, Elias Vidimus. Okay, left or right? I will go left first. Rose windows. Each region contains exactly 1 of each symbol. So I know those have to be separate regions. And that's the solution. You can press Q to flood an entire region with color. Okay. This can only join to that. This join to that. And this right. Those were the easy warm-up ones. Now it gets a little bit harder. How does this pick up a triangle at all? It can only pick up that triangle. Remember, a single region can never touch both sides of a border. So whatever that is, hang on, let me just... Those must be a totally different colour. And that has to come out, which means it goes to there. But this has to be a different colour. So that last one couldn't come down to the bottom one because of the border there. You know. Wanted purple. I don't know which direction that one goes out. Okay, this looks kind of interesting. So whatever that is, it's going to have to take that blue. Whatever this is, it's going to have to take that blue. This blue has to come onto that red, and so all of those have to be different and cannot join up. I guess I can go to automatic colours. Okay, some of the colours are going to run into each other. Now some of these colours may actually join. Just do that to start with. For this region to not take this circle, it would have to come round and would hit another green, so it has to take that circle. So that is forced. This has to take one of these two. Can't hit that region, so it has to hit this green. So those two are the same region, but I don't know if they go left or right, because I don't know if this extends onto that, which means that this region, I'm going to make a different colour because it has to go like that. Could also go that way to get a yellow, and the only blue it can get to is going to be this one. This blue cannot go there. This region has to extend and can only extend downwards. Can't extend into there, so it has to extend this way and then that way. So that's complete. Forces that one to extend out. That can't come down. That has to extend that way. Cannot extend any further, so it's going to have to extend that way. This has to go to those. Yeah, take this one. That was slightly tricky. I had to go from the left-hand end, not the right-hand end where I started. Difficulty 1. All regions must be a T-piece. The only T-piece this can be in that doesn't take another circle, I think, is that. I don't know whether that goes right or down. I do know that that goes across there. This one has to go like that. This one has to go like that. Oh, let's have some different colours. Where's the window? There's the window we're building. It's a bigger region. Done 9 of 13 in the main path and 9 of 20 on the hidden path. All regions must be that shape. And must not run into not spotted any hidden ones behind little holes. These two are in different shapes, which doesn't really help. Oh, I see, that has to do that, or it could come out and do that. But, okay, each of these has to come out. This one cannot come out further, so it has to turn left. That one's fixed. Actually, that wasn't fixed. I wonder if there's a quick delete the border I put in that I shouldn't have, because that can, of course, just come down like that. But then it blocks, it would block this, because this one here has to come out like that. Right, so that means this does have to go like that. Sometimes the mouse tracking is not quite what you want. Or possibly just my lack of motor skills. Exactly one of each symbol. Okay, that should be interesting in this one to here, I think. I'll do the level ones when I've got them available. That is forced. That is forced. That could go either way. By any other name. Restore the rose windows window. I wonder if there's anywhere you can see that this is called rose windows, because it would be useful for labeling the playthrough. Not that I'm guaranteeing to play everything, but it'd be useful for labeling what I've done. Green's not fixed because I could come across to that one. This has to come out. That has to come out. Actually, this didn't have to come out here at all, did it? Take that off. The only green that this block can get to is that. Here we need a circle and a square. The only circle we can reach is that. We need a square for this and a square for this, which could be that and that, or it could be this and this. This will give me a better color. It's a circle and it can only get to that one. Now, I can see that this region could come up with diamond and square, leaving this one to finish off on that square and this one to finish off on that square. If I, this has to go with this circle now. All regions must be 1 or 4. That has to be a 1. This one can't do 4 horizontally or vertically. So that's a 1. This space has to be part of a 4 vertically. That one has to be part of horizontal 4. Ooh, right. I think I'll start by dividing off identical shapes. Where did I put a line on there? It's vertical, that line. So I'm not clear of which of those actually it is clear because it can't. This has to come out somewhere. Okay, pretty effect on that one. Oh, the question may be where that connects to, because it's going to have to come out. So I think that's forced. This has to come out. That's complete. So what I'm doing these things. Undo. That's going to have to come down to at least here, which means it has to join to this one. This has to continue coming out till it hits there. It's very nice the way these are forced through. Ooh, okay, something is going to have to snake a long way round. Um, I'm not quite sure why that didn't complete when I bordered the middle region. Oh well. Something there that hasn't yet unlocked. So the trick here is going to be getting a different colour, that side and that side. And the bit filled in the middle is going to be determined by the colour coming up. So this has to be yellow because the blue is forced up the side, which means this all has to be blue. Means the yellow. One hiding around the corner. It's difficulty 3. 1, a 3, a 3, and a 2. Okay, let's do the 1. So that has to come. Okay, it's the only way it can get everything it needs. That's not so obvious. Actually, that could come down to here and could, yeah, okay. This blue has to come out at least that far. So what actually forces this? This blue can go either yellow there or yellow there. And then it needs a circle. You can tell I'm having problems working out whether I'm looking for colours or shapes. So it could be those three, those three. Right, this can only join to the triangle. And I don't know if it goes with that blue square or that blue square. If this region takes this blue square, this cannot get at it. Because it would be forcing this down to here. Oh, hang on. That has to be a different colour than this bit, which means that joins across. I momentarily forgot about the rule of things being different colours either side of a boundary. "20 of 20 for the main path and 20 of 33 to get it silver." That's quite a lot of puzzles. I believe the developers said that they wouldn't confirm how many puzzles are in the game, but it's somewhere between 100 and 10,000. They also said there were 28 windows, each with between 20 and 40, I think it was, windows per. 20 and 40, 20 to 40 puzzles per window. Okay, down. No, what's wrong with that? Oh, I don't have the yellow. There's a difficulty 6 up there. Okay, leave that one for a little while. Let's do some 3s. So I need something coming out of there. I need something coming out of there. Something different. Give me a different color. Thank you. Different around the back of that. And something different around the back of that. And 2 of those colors overlap, but so this area here has to join up with that area, I think. So if I take in a diamond and a circle, then I also have to get a triangle. These are all going to have to join across. There's a solid border there. This circle cannot join with the blue area, so it is going to have to go around the back. And it could, this blue area cannot join with that, nor can that join with that. Could put something different in there, but we'll see. This needs to get a triangle. Easiest one is that. This can pick up a triangle right next to it. And this area can fulfill the need for a difference between those. This has to go and get that circle. It's the only circle it can join to that square. It does have to go the short route, because if we went round this way we'd block off one of the triangles. Means that's now doing that. This has to come down here. That extends into there, that extends into there, and that extends down to there. That was nice. So the difference between the sort of light silvery base and the darker base. So I have 5 different things have to go in each area here. That and that have to be different colours. Means this is going to have to come out that way. That has to be separated, so it's going to have to continue down that way. That can expand up that way. This has to be a different colour again. Which means this can only get that diamond because we've got everything else. But I don't know which way it goes round to get that diamond. But this is, I think, going to have to come round like that. Maybe square. So that would work. Except that this actually has to go and grab this diamond and do it through there. Right. And that's all forced because I have to get this colour across here. Okay, slightly messy, but we got there. We're doing 24 of 33. I have a suspicion I'm soon going to have to be hunting for things to avoid doing the 6. I don't know how that comes out. What I do know is a different colour from the orange. And that one again is the dark blue. And it must run into this, so it's not taking that square. So this blue square has to go with that circle. And I think it has to go this way around because otherwise the border next to the circle is going to give me a problem. Which means this one is forced around this way. This circle cannot get to this square. This blue can only get to these squares, so this one has to be the yellow one. And something, this blue has to come down. That has to be yellow. No, that can't be yellow. Okay, this can't be yellow or blue. So something was wrong in my logic. The yellow does have to come round to this circle because so could if it came into that circle then it came round like that. Then this can join up here and can enclose that area. And this one can, no, it can't enclose that, it has to be that. Try this one. So one you have to have yellow and purple. Now this could be yellow here. Yellow, this one would have to be purple, which you can do by coming all the way around the outside, and then yellow. Not too bad that. Just have to not be greedy and a nice orange bloom. Is that a message again? I think it is. I shan't rush over there. Let's do some more of these. So this circle has to get to a square that isn't that one. And can't get to that square, so this has to come around to here, which doesn't work. Now this is blocked off. Oh, no. This can get to that square, just this path has to come round and has to take in that circle. And this, no, we can't do that. Let's go back to the colour that I had. Okay, this has to, give me a different colour. Sometimes it's hard getting things that contrast. And this has to go all the way around. It's nice that you think at first it's connect up the similar shapes, but then you realise it's actually get the different borders in the right place. 4. Oh dear. So that has to join up with this. I suppose it could be that colour. Whatever, this can't be there or there, so this one has to come out. Means that has to come out. That has to extend further. This can only get out this way. This can only do that. This cannot come up here because it's going to run into problems with that. So this one has to come around here. That can then come up to there. Which means it cannot come into there. Bring that in there. That down there. What's wrong with that? Oh, it doesn't have a shape in it. Oh, unfortunate. And it can't be the pink. And it can't be the orange. So that cannot come out there because it block that space. So whatever colour, that has to go up there, and it has to go down there. Cannot be purple, it can only be that salmon pink, which means it can't come in there. So that goes there and that goes there. Completed. Okay, how are we doing? Only 5 more to go, but I think I'm going to stop right there because I've gone over the hour. Thank you for watching, and I'll definitely do at least one more of these, but see how many more I do beyond that. Please like and subscribe if you watch this.